Hey everybody, welcome back to Culz Book Reviews. Today we are checking out No Country for Old Men by Cormac McCarthy. Now perhaps you guys recognize the name of this due to the hit 2007 film by the same name, starring Javier Bardem, Woody Harrelson, Josh Brolin, Tommy Lee Jones, amongst a whole host of others. But yeah, this is the book, and Cormac McCarthy had actually started writing this story as a screenplay, so this one had to be fleshed out a little bit more, obviously, and there are some differences, and perhaps we'll get into that at the end, but let's check it out real quick. Alright, so on the cover here you can see it is really kind of minimalist and kind of basic, but I do actually really enjoy it. It actually came in a 3-pack, so if you want to get this exact cover, you have to get the 3-pack, but it comes with No Country for Old Men, Blood Meridian, and The Road. So they all kind of have similar covers, so once we review those as well in the future, you'll see those. But yeah, up top you just see Cormac McCarthy's name, and then No Country for Old Men right there, so there's your title. And then you do get a quote from the Sunday Times, utterly compelling, lucid, and thrilling. Now on the side you see Cormac McCarthy's name again, No Country for Old Men, Picador. And then on the back you got a little bit more praise there, as well as a little bit about the book, introducing you to Llewellyn Moss, who's, I guess, sort of the main character. There's 3 within here that, could obviously fill that role. And then some more praise. There's no ISBN. In fact, it says not for individual sale, because it does come in that 3-pack, but I'll make sure to include a link in the description. So yeah, if you guys want to get this exact cover, you will be able to. Alright, so this one does clock in just a hair over 300 pages, having 309, but the 309th page doesn't have that number there, so just showing you that. And as you can see, flipping through it, it is all words, there's no pictures or anything like that. So let's get into what I thought of the book itself. Alright, so why did I pick this one? Well, I picked this one because obviously we were heading off to New Mexico. I had the guys watch the film version of No Country for Old Men because on our way back, I had planned to stop at the Plaza Hotel, as well as the Regal Inn Motel, Las Vegas, where some of the scenes were filmed for the movie. And so obviously while they were watching that, I was like, it'd be kind of cool to pick up the book and see the differences. At this point, I didn't know that it was written as a screenplay and then fleshed out mainly to make the book proper. So yeah, it does actually follow pretty much the same basic outline as the movie, which is not a bad thing. And if you've seen the movie and you're reading it, you can definitely hear the characters' voices. The writing style, I would say, for some might be something hard to get past. For me, it was totally fine. Perhaps it's some of the charm for me of this book. But yeah, there's places where there's not a ton of punctuation, or the sentences are really short. It's not that proper writing style, but hey, sometimes that proper writing style could lead to a book that seems too textbook and it's kind of a slog to read. So sometimes I think it's good to have something different. So because I'll get into a little bit of spoilers, it's going to be kind of a short review. I think if you've seen the movie, you know the book, and like I said, the writing style is, I think, probably going to be the biggest thing. There are the places where the dialogue bits are like a word or two, and then it jumps right below it to the next word. And it doesn't really specify who's saying it, but I think for me it was easy to kind of tell who was saying it, maybe because I've seen the movie. So that's something I know I've seen people kind of pick on, is the writing style, or just the structure, as well as it's kind of bare bones. The point, I think you can tell that it was written as a screenplay, but again, this is kind of just going off the assumption. I've not read Cormac McCarthy's other books, and hopefully, obviously I own 2 other ones, so at some point, hopefully in the kind of near future, we do have quite a bit of other books planned, but I do plan on getting to those 2, and then when we get to recommendations, I'll kind of explain how I feel about those ones, the prospect of reading those. But yeah, overall, real quick too, before we get to spoilers, I'll say I thought it was really good. As far as books I've read, it's probably my favorite fiction one this year. Overall, I don't know if it's better than that Fatal Crossing one I read about NWA Flight 2501. But as far as just pure fiction and just something to kind of sit back, read, relax, enjoy, and not have to really think too much and just enjoy a book and not have to take too much notes. I really enjoyed it. So I would say probably a good 9 out of 10. It was something that was super enjoyable to me, something that I always looked forward to reading, and not one that I was like, oh, I gotta pick it up again. So yeah, no, I enjoyed it. Is it for everyone? Maybe not. Like I said, there's been some critiques on writing style and stuff like that, but I think overall it's a good read. That being said, though, guys, let's get into some spoilers, because there are some differences from the film. And now, this isn't going to be like a full breakdown of the book versus the film. If you guys do want that at some point, maybe we can do a deep dive on the film, or we can do a proper book versus movie video. So I will say, you can see certain lines, like, say, Sheriff Bell says in the movie, or he thinks in the movie, which is definitely expanded. A little bit more expansion on characters or scenes. Is it for the better? Is it for the worse? I guess that's up to the reader or the viewer. Each chapter kind of starts out with more of a thought or a story from Bell. Sometimes it relates to the chapter, sometimes it'll come back around, or sometimes it's just a way of how he views the world. Now, you do see the majority of these in the film at different points and more in a conversation aspect, so not as in-depth in the film. But overall, with, his character, not a huge change there. We do get a little bit more, especially at the end, where he does, in the book, interrogate the boys who had seen Sugar's crash. We get a little bit more story with them as far as what they do with the money, and the one kid's really hesitance to talk about Sugar at all. So there's a little bit difference there, but pretty much his story plays out like you see in the movie. Going on to Llewellyn Moss, pretty similar. Obviously, he starts out on a hunt. In the movie, we see him hunting pronghorn, and then he comes across a drug deal gone bad and takes the money. Same kind of basic layout here, and he sends his wife off to live with her mom, and he goes on the run. The scene in the hotel, as far as his interaction with Sugar, is different. How he gets out of that is different. I don't want to spoil it too much if you haven't. Just do want to talk about some of the changes, but yeah, there's a difference there, and there's an addition of an extra car with more people coming out of it shooting. So there's more of a shootout in the street, and we do see this, I guess, going back to Bell, we do see reflected in his story as far as finding out more of kind of like this underworld, this seedy underworld in his town that he is so kind of appalled by. So there's one change as far as Llewellyn's story. Another one is there's a pretty prominent hitchhiker towards the end of the book, a younger hitchhiker on her way to California, and he does give her money. Now, unfortunately, she is killed, and Moss, much like in the film, is killed, but we really don't get this hitchhiker character in the film. At his final stop, the final hotel, there is that lady that offers him the beer, and perhaps this is that stand-in for the hitchhiker character, but different there. His ending obviously meets the same way. Some people might say it's anticlimactic, but I think it fits the tone of the book and the kind of neo-Western genre in general. Anton Sugar and everything that's going on is just kind of a force of nature. And there doesn't always have to be a reasoning. Sometimes nature just happens. As far as Anton Sugar, his character, pretty much the same. He's a hitman. We see the majority of the same killings. There is the shootout, like I said, at the hotel that's different. And we do get to see him take the money back to where it's going. Now, he does kill multiple extra people throughout that were connected with Woody Harrelson's character in the movie. And, we get that scene as well. Something else, and that is with Carla Jean and their conversation when he's there to kill her at her house after her mother's funeral. Now, we do see this scene in the film itself, but we really don't see the outcome. It's kind of left up to your imagination after the coin flip, though there is a little hint if you watch closely when Javier Bardem's Sugar comes out of the house. He does check his shoes, so a lot of people kind of said, yeah, that's probably a sign that he killed her, and he was just making sure he didn't have blood on his shoes. Now, in here, it's laid out, he does kill her. He flips the coin, much like there, but it tells you, obviously, her pick was wrong, and he does finish that deed. His story ends pretty much the same, though. He does give the money back. It really wasn't about the money. but he wraps up any loose ends. So 0 loose ends left, and yeah, it's I'm sure there's some more I'm missing. Maybe, like I said, I'll come back and do a more in-depth kind of like book versus film. I don't think I've ever done that type of video before. But also we could do a deep dive and actually read the book. And as far as like the future, I kind of teased that earlier. Do I look forward to it? Other Cormac McCarthy books? Yeah, I'm interested to see how I feel about the other ones, and to see maybe if it's the love of the movie that I have that instigated the rating of the book at all. So it'll be interesting to see. I haven't watched the movie for The Road, and we know the Blood Meridian movie's kind of been like in production hell for I don't even know how long. At least at the time of recording this review, not out yet. So I'll make sure not to watch The Road until I read the book first, and kind of go from there. But I know there's quite a bit of other books by Cormac McCarthy. But I will say right now, I really enjoyed the read. Earlier I did say 9 out of 10. I'll stick with that. And I do look forward to reading more of Cormac McCarthy's books. I've kind of been looking around on Amazon finding some more. So, hopefully we'll get to some more here. We do have quite a few already picked up for the upcoming months, just to tie in with different events or videos that we're doing. So yeah, hopefully we'll get to those here in the near future, and definitely stay tuned to the channel, as I did promise we were going to New Mexico to perhaps wander around the locations where the film version No Country for Old Men was filmed. But until next time, guys, for more Culz book reviews, click that link to your left. For more about us here at Culz Paranormal, click that link to your right. And don't forget to hit the like and give us a subscribe. And let us know, have you read No Country for Old Men? And do you have a favorite Cormac McCarthy book? Tell us in the comments below.